First thing that happens when your garden starts coming in is you start wondering, what in the world am I going to do with all this stuff? Well, you get the biggest pan you have, and you put some olive oil in it. Then you put in some fresh onions. Then you put in some of the beans. These happen to be a Romano bean, but it could be any kind of bean. We picked these today. Kind of let them start cooking, browning a little bit. And then here shortly, we're going to add a mountain of the zucchini and a couple of patty pans that were also picked a little while ago. And we're going to make this giant one pan meal that will last for, unless we become total pigs, will last for several days. It will definitely feed a bunch of people. Once you go out and you pick about 7 or 8 different vegetables and you've got these huge quantities, you really need to come up with one-pan casserole kind of dishes, because that's a way for you to get it all going at the same time. Otherwise, by the time you decide to have green beans tonight and zucchini tomorrow and patty pan the next day, and by the time you get back to it, you've picked 3 more times and it's hopeless. So learn to make dishes where you just pile everything in. We had some mushrooms. No, we don't do mushrooms. I've tried. They just don't grow here for me in Georgia. But we had some mushrooms left over. We'll add them to this meal too. So this is just going to be primo. This is going to be a variation of my favorite meals in the summertime. Is what did you pick, and add some meatballs or a little sausage or some bacon. Up. And here comes the zucchini. This zucchini here 2 hours ago was out on the plant. So, do we need to add more olive oil or anything to all this?
Stir it around a little.
Stir it around a little bit? It's pretty dry. I don't know. But I just stir, you cook. A little more olive oil. This is the zucchini, and yes, hard to believe. Here comes a couple of big patty pans. So we get this kind of coated, and then, like I said, I do the stirring. I'm in charge of stirring, and I try and do at least 60% of the eating. So I'm guessing after I do this, I will put the lid on, let it cook a little bit. Is that a yes?
Yeah, I need to put garlic in there.
Oh, don't want to leave out the garlic. And a little salt and pepper. Now for the salt. And for the pepper. Mix all this around. It cooks up and tastes so good in a nice big cast iron pan. So we had onions, green beans, zucchini, patty pan, some garlic, olive oil, a little salt and pepper. And eventually we'll add some sausages. Cover time? And then we need to let all this cook a bit. So we'll be back in a little while. Every little while after this is cooking, you see it's getting noisy. And give it a stir so it's cooking evenly. Don't want the guys on the bottom burning while the guys on the top are still raw. As it cooks, it will shrink down some. It won't be nearly as much as it looked like when we started. But it's still going to be a lot. This is going to be a great one-piece, homegrown squash and green bean meal. And we'll let it continue cooking. Alright, it's cooked far enough. The leftover mushrooms from last night are going in. And they're getting mixed in pretty evenly. While it's cooking away, remember to come back and give it a good stir so it all gets hot. And, you know, it's fun to play with it. Something just landed on the floor, I think. I think it was a mushroom.
Yes, that was.
Alright, it's just about all cooked and hot enough to eat. And the homegrown stuff continues. This is fresh oregano. This year, actually it's from like yesterday or the day before. It was dried, picked, and we're already starting to eat on it. The frightening part is there's only 2 of us. This looks like enough food for a week, and there's only 2 of us. For those of you with larger families, you have a better idea of how many people this would feed. But this was, for the most part, all this stuff was picked yesterday or today, except for the sausages. Oh, if you could smell it, you would come right through the camera.
That'll be a good picture up on Instagram.
Well, I think this stuff is just about done, which means
Get your plate.
I gotta get a plate, and you're gonna have to just like dream of how this came out. But you know how it came out. Oh. See if I, you know, I always do this, and these are really hot. Ow, 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 ow. Mm. Oh, those beans are so good. I don't know if I can do that with a squash. They're really hot. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow. They're done too. Ow.
Good to know.
Ow, ow. So there's a David and Chris that grow and eat this. We grew it, we picked it, and now it's time for we to eat it. It's going to be good. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. We will not be passing out leftovers later.